8 hours podcast.
We have 8 hours. And we're live, folks. Smash this podcast live. JAYBONE here. Have not done a show in a while. Flu has kicked my ass. Not that I like giving out excuses. I'm just saying I've been quite under the weather. But I'm back feeling next to 100%, cracking a cold one with good buddy of mine tonight to run down this card of NXT Takeover Toronto. That's a mouthful. By my side tonight, and it's always good when he's by my side because I think he's naked, honestly, but we won't show that here on the live Google Hangout, is Mr. Nasty himself, the Baron. How you doing, brother?
Yo. That was great. I like it. Yeah, I kind of wanted to jump into a video chat. JAYBONE over here was a little scared of what was going on behind the camera, so had to shut her down.
Yeah, I try to keep it at least PG as far as visually. So,
I'd hate for the animal control to be called on me.
Oh my goodness. So I guess Ellering wasn't the only thing hanging in a cage tonight.
Oh! Hey now.
Right. So overall, before we start running through some results here and talking about the matches, overall, were you happy with this? What did you think, dude?
Kind of before we went live, I was telling you, I think the NXT... the shows have been kind of boring on Wednesdays. I know it's a lot has to do with others. And that's the biggest problem for me, at least. But so going into this, I'm like, okay, this card kind of lacks compared to the last card they had, and especially the card prior to this. So I was kind of coming in like, okay, there's a couple good matches here, but the rest are just kind of bland. But overall, I thought this pay-per-view was definitely one of the best takeovers they've had.
Yeah, it's always nice when the crowd is good and pumped up. This is I was trying, as I was setting this up and getting Baron in the hangout here, I was listening to a little bit of Triple H live, as difficult as it was because their audio is not working well at all. At least I couldn't hear it. It was quiet as hell. They needed their mic volume raised or something, but it was just basically, it looked like Kathy and Triple H doing a lot of sign language back and forth.
Oh, I need to go to watch that. I'm a big fan of Kathy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to blow your volume out of the window in order to hear it, I think. Just a couple pointers here before. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, obviously, but with Triple H, I think it's still going on live right now. But a couple things I heard before the audio started cutting out was the crowd was 12,000 tonight. That's pretty good, Oh,
that's really good for an NXT show.
And especially this being another point I'm going to just quick drop here is this is the second international NXT show.
What was the other one? That was in the UK, right? Yeah.
That was
London?
Yes. Yeah, in the UK, yeah. I almost said Japan, but no, that was just a regular house show that actually contained an NXT match. So that doesn't officially count. That was Beast in the East or something from a year or two ago. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, granted, it was right across the border in good old Toronto, but still, it's Canada, and man, yeah, this crowd, holy crap! One of our buddies, Cade Carnage, gonna give a quick shout out to him. I know he was there live with his, I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend, his significant other, whoever it was.
Did you see him?
He was posting a lot of pictures on Facebook right before it went live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So shout out to Cade. Always runs a good, clean wrestling news website on mindofcarnage.com and all our podcasts that are affiliated with this Ramblin', this podcast. The unfortunately now defunct Wrestle Addict, all their shows are on there.
Yeah, what happened with that?
Yeah, this was a sad week for podcasts. Styles closed the doors on Destroying Kayfabe because he's tired of the wrestling product he's been watching. And G-Rod decided to put the kibosh on the Wrestle Addict because he is so insanely busy, and instead of trying to make all the rest of us run the shows and he couldn't put the energy he wanted to into it, he decided to close shop, which is understandable. You know, he's got his hand in a lot of different things. So, but hey, nonetheless, great shows. Not going to say a bad thing about them. They, always kind to us and everyone else around us. So, nothing but class. But yeah, let's get back into this NXT Takeover. On my notes, I wrote Canada. It's Toronto. Whatever. We're in Canada.
Yeah, you asked a true Canadian.
Yeah.
Toronto is not Canada.
Well, it's not?
No.
No? Oh, that shows how much I do. Yeah, I got a D in geometry. I mean, wait, that's geography. Never mind. Anyways,
yeah. Well, you just got a D in school.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't very good. So the show kicks off with Bobby Roode versus Ty Dillinger. And oh my goodness, did they have a glorious entrance complete with a several person choir for Bobby Roode. Holy crap. What'd you think of that, dude?
Dude, that was awesome. I thought it was awesome. They honestly, they put a lot of stock into Bobby Roode. From this entrance onto his last one coming up, and the first match he had, he came up in that the elevator type thing.
Oh yeah. That was unique as well.
Yeah. So they're putting a lot of stock into this guy. So that's a good sign, and the crowd eats it up every time. Like that that damn song is so catchy still.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not like one of those things where I've never heard a fan say, "Oh, really? This theme again? Oh, yeah. I'm getting so tired." No, everybody eats this up like crazy, And this between this and like Nakamura's theme.
Oh yeah.
NXT fans just eat the hell out of it.
The Nakamura thing is like that can go on throughout the entire match, and I would still be fine.
Oh,
like,
right.
With the crowd doing it the entire match, and you're just like, all right,
yeah,
it's just pretty fucking cool.
Well, and it's another sign of definitely a crowd that's outside of the U.S. I mean,
yeah,
U.S. crowds for NXT are usually pretty good, but anything outside the U.S. is also usually gets a little more rowdy depending on where it is.
Yeah, it all depends where they're at.
The international shows, yeah. And these two really put on a hell of a show. And it's one thing I did with this card. I didn't do any predictions for anything all week. I think I mailed in my predictions to Dizzy for the show. I think when I did it, I was so feverish, I didn't even realize what I was typing. I copied a bunch of shit and added a little bit at the end. So I'm like, it was because I was just kind of like, he's like, you got your predictions? I'm like, yeah, hang on. I just like sent them whatever. So I couldn't even tell you what the hell I predicted for tomorrow night, but I didn't even think about the NXT stuff until even today. And I was like, well, it's too late to do a prediction show now. Screw it. So I'm like, if anything, I'll just do a live post show. Yeah. Well, here we are doing it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, and throughout this whole card, I really didn't care who won or who lost. I just knew that we were going to see some damn good wrestling tonight.
Yep. Always do with the NXT.
Yeah, and Bobby Roode came out with a win for this one. No, I didn't write down any, and that's one thing I usually don't do too much is write down any like memorable spots or anything. Was there anything that stood out for you, dude?
Nothing that really stood out. I mean, it wasn't, a 5-star wrestling clinic type of match, but I mean, it was a good opener for the show because the crowd got in behind the gimmicks, and it all starts with their entrance and with Bobby Roode, and then the catchy 10. The atmosphere for the match was really good.
Yeah, and a hometown guy for Bobby Roode. Is Dillinger also from Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay.
He's fuck. I knew it maybe about 5 minutes ago where he's from, but now I done forgot. That damn medicine I take.
Yeah, that's all right, man. It's medicinally satisfying.
Yeah. Peace, man. Peace.
Right. But yeah, great first match. Certainly knocked it out of the park, and I think. Go ahead, dude.
Thing though, then it popped in my head. The memorable part is like, where do we take it with Ty Dillinger now? I mean, now that the match is over, he lost again. I mean, he's the king of jobbing, better than Tyler Breeze at this point. So, is he going to make a main roster move? That's kind of how it looked when he left the ring, or maybe he's taking a little time off. But there was a lot of questions, especially at the end of this match. What he's doing.
It's hard to. I mean, he's really over. He really is. When he comes out there and he does the whole 10 thing. That crowd is behind him. I mean, this is one that the crowd was like really split. They love cheering for Roode, but because everybody loves Bobby Roode, but they also are really behind the whole 10 thing, which is great. It's great because it was nice that they kind of showed right before the match how long Ty Dillinger's been around. He's been in and out of a couple times. So
I didn't realize how long ago, man. That was a long time ago when he was.
Oh yeah. In fact, he was. I mean, the first thing that I ever saw him in was, I think, one of the first Florida Championship Wrestling shows that WWE was running. But a few years before it turned into NXT. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and it showed him in Ohio Valley Wrestling, which even goes back further than that. So the fact that he was in that, and WWE's version of ECW goes back 7-8 years ish.
Yeah,
more possibly.
I think it's more.
Yeah. So yeah, the kid is talented. It's just finding that niche and getting everyone else behind you and them giving you that chance to get out there and show your stuff. Mm-hmm. Because if the people in the back don't see, don't see you, if they don't see that spark, they're not going to do anything with you, which is, a reason why they do that with so many guys. They didn't do, they didn't stick with a decent gimmick for like Adam Rose and so many others. They gave Adam Rose the whole party thing, which was hot for about 2 seconds, but everybody wanted Leo Kruger,
Yeah.
Same thing. So yeah, it's nice to see Ty Dillinger get the respect, get the attention, get the pops from the crowd. Yeah, it's a good question on where does he go from here. He's over, kind of like, I think he's almost stuck in that thing right now where, like Enzo and Cass, they're totally over, so they don't need any like belts or championships right now, but so they're just kind of like in pop limbo, I guess. I don't know what the hell.
The one thing that I see from him that's going to hold him back, in my eyes, just from watching for years, is that he has a very catchy catchphrase, the perfect 10, but that's only going to go that's not going to go very far in WWE.
Yeah.
Especially and maybe that's what they're kind of waiting on him to come out with maybe he needs a pipe bomb moment or, something to elevate him, because he's still, to my mind, is just a A+ jobber.
Yeah, I just think he needs a little more TV time and just a little more support from the crowd. And
I think the story with Bobby Roode has been good. I've been kept up with it.
Oh yeah, those two have been great together. It's especially because Bobby Roode's been around like forever and a day, but then again, Ty Dillinger has too. So yeah, it just doesn't seem like Ty's been around that long, because I don't think people know him as well as they know Bobby Roode. So
right.
So, yeah, who knows? I mean, it might be one of those things where middle of next year, Ty just gets called up, and gets treated kind of like Apollo Crews, where they're just kind of like stuck in mid-card. Yeah, I know.
You don't want to be stuck Apollo Crews right now.
No,
man.
No, I mean, it's nice if you're on the main roster, but, you also want some attention too, and
Yeah.
You want some kind of game plan behind you. So let's see. What's next here? The Dusty Classic, the tag team finals for the trophy. We got I missed the last episode of NXT from this week, so I didn't realize the stipulation that there was behind this.
Yeah.
That, because my thoughts going into this are, okay, with TM61 going up against the Authors of Pain, the Authors of Pain automatically have a 1-up because they've got Ellering. And Ellering is starting to actually get involved in matches and get nasty. Mm-hmm. In true heel fashion. He's not just standing back barking orders. No, he's actually getting involved now, which is nice to see,
Yeah.
He's not just standing back with his hands folded, because that's just boring as shit, You're going to be a manager, you got to get some hype going, So, yeah, the fact that, and they also showed the old classic footage of Ellering in the cage above the ring back in the days where you probably wouldn't even recognize him because he had long flowing blonde hair.
Yeah, I did not realize that at all, that any of that happened. I thought they were just doing a cheap plug to their new line of action figures they have coming out with the new ring, but
yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, the new NXT.
I don't know if that's true or not. I just happened to see a post on Twitter about it, but it looked pinpoint. The Castle Crash or Crash Castle or whatever the hell it's called.
The Crash Cage, yeah.
Crash Cage, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, the cage, they're not actually going to have that fall in the ring, but they are going to raise it up, and someone is going in it. If you're playing with the action figures, then yeah, you have the option to like drop it in the ring and chaos ensues or whatever. If that literally, a 300+ pound cage dropped in the middle of the ring, that could potentially really wreck someone's day.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Ellering gets put in the cage, and still has a way to wreck TM61's day. Drops a chain in the ring. Now, the chain itself really didn't get used.
Oh, it knocked out a damn fan.
Yeah, that chain was flying.
Oh, my God. I was like, oh, shit. And I seen a guy holding his neck like it hit him, but I don't know if it actually hit him. I doubt it did, or there would be a pretty good lawsuit.
Yeah, that or he would just be marking out like, "Oh my god, I got hit by
Oh shit! I got it. Yes,
That's awesome. Can you
that would be pretty sweet, actually.
I want to go backstage and have him sign the chain. Wait, what? Oh yeah, but these two put on a great match. A lot of Daredevil stuff from Thorne.
Dude, I
Holy
like them.
crap.
I do the team. Just both of the team 61 guys are. And I've been saying it for weeks. They're fucking awesome.
They are. I think they're really proving themselves to the audience because I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't really know how good they are. And I've seen some of their stuff in
Noah.
Is that Noah? Okay, Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, they are good.
That first spot, dude, was awesome.
Oh yeah, climbing up the freaking contraption, whatever, that was like holding the crane for the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you call it, but
yeah. A crane of sorts.
Yeah, the crane base, whatever. Yeah, and then climbing up like 10 plus feet and diving, moonsaulting off of that. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good way to get the crowd behind because if you notice, the crowd when either one of these guys came out, that was silent.
Yeah, it's I think they got their work behind them. I think when the Authors of Pain come out, you're going to get some boos. I think it's honestly harder to get cheers from a crowd than it is to get boos nowadays. You got to really work hard. Because these guys are kind of. I mean, they don't need to be waving flags or feathers or they don't need a big, colorful, crazy ass gimmick to ride out on floats or anything like friggin' New Day or something.
Put some face paint on them, they'll be fine.
Oh God. TM61 Warriors. Yeah, there we go.
I see it. The Australian Warriors. The Australian sensations.
They go out and they start shaking the ropes. No, we can't have that now. But yeah, and I love the Authors of Pain. Anytime you get some big, brutal badasses out there, I've always been a fan of tag teams like that. Honestly, as this tournament was going on, I was really hoping that, and of course we couldn't have this because it'd be two heel teams. I was hoping for Sanity versus Authors of Pain in the finals.
Yeah, that'd been nice to see. I like
that'd
Sanity.
have been cool. Could you picture Eric Young screaming back and forth at Ellering at ringside?
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
I thought Austin Aries in this. Being who they are. Yeah. Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
Because they were in this. I expect to see them. Neither one were on this card.
No, well, yeah, it would have been nice to see Roderick Strong get just a quick, at least, singles match. But, yeah, Aries got his...
oh, yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about it, yeah.
His eye hole.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
So, yeah, he's...
who did that? That was Nakamura, right?
Yeah, the Mr. King O Strong style, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Knocked his ass out.
Sure did. And it didn't even look that bad. It just looked like a regular kick, but Aries went down and he didn't get back up. It was like, oh damn. So yeah, get well soon, Mr. Austin Aries. But yeah, great match between TM61 Authors of Pain. It was not as good as the following match. Quick mention, I shouldn't just skip over this. The Authors of Pain did win the match, so they are the new Dusty Classic Dusty Classic champions, I guess you call them.
Dusty Tag Team, yeah.
Classic winners, champions? I guess. I don't know.
Dusty Tag Team winners.
They have the trophy.
Yeah.
And Dustin, aka Gold Dust, was out there congratulating him, which is nice. You know, obviously they're not going to have Cody
Trips.
out there. So, yeah, Trips was out there, yeah. And then, you know, and that's interesting. This is one of those. The last time we had a really, you know, big badass team like this was like someone like the Wyatts, or even more recently the Ascension.
You just had to mention that name. Yeah, they were pretty big in NXT. Yeah.
Oh, they were like undefeated for like a flipping year or more, whatever, as champs. And, you know, you see teams like this come up, and you just hope. I can't wait to see them on the main roster someday, but you also hope that they get treated well, that they're not just
I think
on
that's
there and made a joke of.
Yeah, I think that's a team that could probably do well on the main roster, especially with Paul Ellering.
Oh, absolutely, with Ellering. Cheers.
Yeah. I think they would do really good on the main roster.
Yeah. And Ellering's a good voice man, too. I mean, I don't think he's good as Heyman, but
no.
He can go out and spit some stuff, you know. So we'll have to see where this nice little win leads them. Next, we got the NXT Tag Team Championship match. 2 out of 3 falls. Always makes it nice to have a little stip in there. The Revival, 2-time NXT champions, versus DIY, Gargano, and one of my current favorites from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Tommaso Ciampa. So yeah, you know who I was rooting for this one.
Oh yeah, and I was rooting for them as well.
But honestly, I did not think they were going to pull it off.
I predicted them to win. I think it was their time. They're way over with the crowd. It's another question. Where does Revival go? Are they? Because usually, a lot of times when there is a drop title, the call-ups are coming. But I don't see them making a main roster debut anytime soon.
See, I honestly think they would do better than like Vaudevillains or Breezango, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. Just with their wrestling, and they're pretty good on the mic. They're probably the only tag team in wrestling today that is an actual tag team that you don't see them on their side of the mat, the opponent's side of the mat. Yeah. They're always keeping the other guy on their side of the mat, and it's perfect. They're by far the best tag team, and I would say in all WWE.
With
the wrestling,
NXT and the main roster.
And the main roster. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't think of any big tag teams on the main roster, honestly.
Yeah, I mean there are good ones out there, but that have that niche down to where it's classic mat based, and they keep the action to one side.
I think Gallows and Anderson, they do well with that.
Yeah, they do. They do. They just, they win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. They just haven't had anything significant, happen. So, but yeah, I was certainly rooting for DIY, but I figured, okay, they're going to put on a hell of a 2 out of 3 falls match, and it's going to go 3 falls. But something's going to happen, and I thought, because everyone's always talking about when is Tommaso Ciampa going to turn on Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, I think it was way too early for that to happen, because they just kind of became a tag team maybe a month, or not a month ago, but whenever the last takeover was.
It was like during the summer.
Yeah. And I mean, they faced off two faces at the CWC as well. So there's that. I think they're a good tag team, and that's 2 guys you don't want to break up very, very soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, especially if they won now, they're going to be champs for a while, and they do have a great formula together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this match was as good as the last one was. The action in this one, holy crap!
Yeah, it was a damn good match.
I mean, it started out really fast paced, and then it slowed down after a while. But man, the close finishers towards the end, jeez Louise. I was on the edge of my seat for like 2/3 of this match.
Yeah, it did. And like on Twitter, I said this was probably the best tag team match I have seen in a very long time. Actually, probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely one of the better ones. I'd put it up there for as far as tag team matches. I'd call it definitely contender for match of the year.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And I'm going to give a shout out to the Revival. People don't understand how good of a tag team they are. Like their in-ring psychology, the way they work their opponents, and the way they work together as a tag team, they are by far the best tag team in wrestling, dude. And they're so underestimated. They're so good.
They really are, and they keep getting compared to teams like the Brain Busters and stuff like that. You know, Tully and Arn, and they are.
Yeah,
they have that classic style. Because you watch teams like this, and if you're a guy who's my age or anywhere near it, then it makes you want to go watch some of that old stuff when the Brain Busters were running wild in the WWF, from music from the golden era, pretty much. Was that early 90s ish, late 80s?
I think it was late 80s.
Yeah.
I don't remember them much in the 90s because that's when I started watching, and I watched it pretty heavy back in the 90s. It could have been.
I don't think, and the thing is, I don't think they were in the WWF the same time that Flair was. I think it was right before Flair joined. So that would have been late 80s.
Do some research here.
You're going to bring up the old Wikipedia?
Yep.
All right. I'll let you do that. But yeah, so we have new NXT.
If my computer would stop being so stupid.
Oh, dude, did you get your computer high? I told you to stop doing that.
It's contact high. Everything's high. You're walking in the house and you just get instant contact high. That's basically what it is.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Just a warning for anyone who happens to get invited over to Baron's house.
Yeah, the invite's open. Open home here.
Yeah.
Just don't be scary.
Just don't be scary.
Okay, why am I not finding them? This is awkward.
All
right, here we go. Finally. Sheesh.
Got him.
Kept typing in WWE and was not getting anything. Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. They debuted in 1986. Let's see when their WWF run was. Late October 1988. So yes, and I don't remember them. What was their? Okay, they were the match with her. Yeah, I remember that, but I don't remember. They didn't have much going on for them in WWF.
They were only around for a year with Heenan.
Yeah. So they had a match against Demolition. Obviously, they probably didn't win because Demolition held the title for God knows how long. And they defeated them by disqualification. And they left in 1989.
Yeah, so they didn't stick around.
Oh, because of Tully failed a drug test.
Oh, that's right.
And Arn Anderson then returned to NWA in December.
Yeah. And I think that was actually pretty much the end of Tully's wrestling career. He like walked away from wrestling. Period.
Well, yeah, but he actually went back to NWA for a little bit. I do know that. Let's see when his career ended. Retired in 2007. Now, that could be him doing, he was a producer for WWE, so that's probably, he's still a producer for WWE. He, as a producer, no, not anymore. Table for Three. He was on Table for Three in the WWE Network.
Oh, that was a few months ago. He did a special with Rick and Tully. Yeah, and then you got a little, when he did that, you got a little background story on what he did after wrestling and whatnot.
He did a few things with some smaller companies. I see he did something with ECW in '95. Looks like he was still wrestling in 2005. He had a match against Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 2007, I would say, would be the last of his run. Teamed with the Nightmare in 2007, the Nightmare and Ricky Landell, and they lost to Jake Roberts, Ricky Morton, and Glacier. That was his last official match, according to Wiki, which, that's Wiki.
Yeah, you never know. Might have to be updated. So, but yeah, it was probably a one-off that he did, and as far as like wrestling on a regular basis, he probably stopped that back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, now we're just waiting for his daughter to come up, right? She is turning heads in the wrestling industry like you would not believe. But yeah, incredible. Back to the NXT. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, NXT Takeover.
Man, I don't know. I'm now looking up pictures of his daughter.
The Canadian show. The Canadian show there. Hey, we were talking about.
The
NXT Tag Team Champions are now DIY. Congrats to my hometown boy Ciampa and Mr. Wrestling Johnny Gargano.
Yep. Congrats to them. They deserve it.
Johnny Wrestling, that's what they call him. Sorry. New champs. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the revival now. It might be a sign they're getting called up within the next few months to WWE. We'll have to wait and see, because I can't imagine they'd be hanging around NXT too much longer. They're after being two-time champs.
I don't know. That's thinking who needs better tag teams, SmackDown or Raw? Who has the better tag teams?
Oh man, don't get me started on that one.
Yeah, I think that could go into a very long discussion there. But I think they would be a good addition. I don't know really how well the WWE crowd would get behind them. That's my biggest problem. And they're a really good tag team. That's why I don't want to really see them go to the main roster.
Yeah, because the NXT crowds are gonna respect them more and love them more than your casual Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live crowd. So we'll see. Let's see. Then we're on to the next match, the NXT Women's Championship. Asuka being the champion versus a returning Mickie James, who I did a tiny bit of research right before we did this. She is a 9-time National Women's Champion, which consists of a 3-time TNA Women's Champion and a 6-time WWE Women's Championship. And that is a national record.
Oh wow!
She holds the national record for being women's champion that many times. So that's pretty cool for her, especially being 38, creeping up on 40. What did you think of her match with? I really didn't have any doubt that Asuka would retain here, but I was impressed with this match. What did you think, dude?
Well, it was better than her music career. Shit, did I say that out loud? I think I did. No, I thought this was a really good match. I thought she looked good in the ring because I haven't seen her wrestle in a long time because I quit watching TNA, I think, right when she was coming to TNA. I think all the main guys left TNA when she started. When did she start in TNA?
I can tell you when she left. She left TNA in 2013.
And she returned in 2015, I'm seeing here. So she
probably came back for a really short period of time.
Yeah, probably like a appearance. Yeah, I think I wasn't watching TNA at this time. I think Christopher Daniels has left. I'm not even sure if AJ Styles was still there. I think it was in 2013.
Well, when those main guys started to leave, that was like a domino effect.
Oh yeah,
Kazarian and
I went with them
left.
Too. I signed a contract elsewhere.
Joe left, Aries left, Styles left, and when those main, and then within the last year, you saw guys like Young and Rude left. So when all that happened, and the main problem with that was when those guys were finally getting the recognition and the respect that they deserved after 10 plus years with the company, they got rid of them and did not replace them. That's the problem. They did not build new stars before cutting all the veterans. And that was the dumbest thing TNA could have possibly done. And guess what? Majority of them are thriving now in either NXT or WWE main roster.
Oh, they're running the company. AJ Styles, one of the best in the main roster. I mean, Samoa Joe, Austin Aries, and
Kazarian and Daniels are running clinics down in Ring of Honor. I can't fail to mention that. They are doing a hell of a job down there. But yeah, pleasantly surprised. Actually, I shouldn't say surprised. Mickie James has always been entertaining to watch, even though she hasn't been maybe on TV in a few years. She's been building a family with Mr. Magnus, or AKA what do they call
Brutus Magnus?
Yeah, Nick Aldis, formerly of TNA, who is now the current one-time Global Force Wrestling champion, which is pretty much the only guy that Jeff Jarrett, I believe, has left on a roster, if you can call it a roster.
What the hell?
Geez Louise, because everyone that I saw with him over the course of the last year is either in TNA or WWE now. It's hilarious.
That didn't go very well for him.
No, it's not. Because you've got to have stars if you're going to build a show, and he's lost everyone.
Yeah.
But he put on a hell of a show last year when I saw him up in Appleton. That was nice. Great match between Asuka and Mickie James. Mickie James and Asuka really put on a show.
Yeah. Now the question is, was this a one-off, or is she sticking around NXT?
That's hard to say. That's really hard to say. I mean, this could have been her just getting the feelers back.
I mean, that's a big time match not to be signed to a contract, but then again, they don't have too many women wrestlers over there.
Well, they do, but they're just in the process of building that women's NXT roster. You've got Peyton Royce. You got Billy. What's her name?
Billy Kay.
You've got Liv Morgan. You've got Aaliyah. So there's a lot of new faces that they're bringing in. Some part timers that they keep bringing back, like Santana Garrett. What's her name? Thea Trinidad. Some of them have been wrestling around here. That's why I recognize the names. Also, Paul Ellering's daughter was on TV a couple weeks ago, Rachel Ellering, but I think they changed her last name to something. I don't remember what. So, yeah, I mean, there's a plethora of really talented girls down there. It's just they're all new, fresh faces. So it's hard to
Right.
lock in your attraction and be like, oh, this girl's been around for such a long time. She's doing such a great job. No, because you only seen them all in a couple matches so far. They're finally getting their time now to shine. So yeah, who knows what they're going to do with probably the most notable is that Ember Moon.
Yeah. Which she's been kind of off for a while, too. I haven't seen her on their shows.
Oh, no, she's been on NXT.
Has she?
Oh, yeah. She was on a couple weeks in a row, in fact. I always binge watch NXT. I watch like a month at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I don't know. But yeah, she was just on recently, and she made her debut at the last big show.
Yeah.
It was freaking red eyes, dude. Oh,
yeah, they're crazy.
Jeez Louise. Scared. I don't know what's more scarier. Friggin' Asuka staring across the ring at you, licking her lips, or Ember Moon batting her red eyes at you. My God. Scary shit, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of talent down there. It's just, it's just a matter of consistency and, getting used to their faces and their names and seeing them work in the ring. So
yeah.
One last note about this match. Very interesting how there was a lot of mind games played in this match between Asuka and Mickie James. One big point being made that you're not going to win a mind game match with Mickie James.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And then the fact that at the end of the match, Mickie went to shake her hand out of respect, and Asuka just raised her championship, gave her that nasty-ass glare, and walked out of the ring. So it was like, oh, man, Asuka's getting kind of nasty lately.
Yeah, I was going to say, because normally she, big matches, at least Bayley, she shook her hand, gave her a hug. That's probably more so her leaving. But, yeah, normally she shows pretty good sportsmanship after her matches.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd is still behind her, but, yeah, kind of interesting that she's kind of turning the heel there. Interesting. So we'll have to see where that goes. Last but certainly not least on this card, kind of a short card, but man, this show went what, 2.5+ hours?
Yeah, it was about 2.5 hours, I think.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minus all of the cheap plugs and freaking previews.
Yeah, but you know
of
what?
The match.
At least for this show, they didn't cut a match in half with,
right.
a freaking Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial from Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. Like they do so much like on pre-show matches. So like right as you're starting to get interested in something, it's and then they
I know, it's the stupidest thing ever.
They cut to the the Colonel stripping in the ring. It's like, come on, my God. Stop that shit. NXT Championship match between the King of Strong Style Nakamura, the champ, versus Samoa Joe. Man, this one shocked me, dude. What'd you think?
Yeah, that was not. I said earlier today, I was like, I'm going for. I think Samoa Joe's going to win this. There was just this feeling that it's like they have to keep the strap around Samoa Joe. I think he's their safe bet on NXT. I think he's a guy that's going to push the main title picture with whoever's coming through NXT for a long time. I don't ever see this guy leaving NXT. I think this is Triple H's guy, big time.
But see that, and this is what I was thinking into this. I was like, okay, Nakamura's going to hang on to it. He's not going to drop it to Joe. Joe's going to have a hell of a match with him, but then be so frustrated after he loses, he leaves for the main roster to go, create chaos and devastation and surprise show up on the main roster at Royal Rumble, a couple months down the road from now, or just less than 2 months. That's kind of what I was assuming we were going to have, because we keep seeing all these stupid little articles about, they have absolutely no intention of bringing Nakamura to the main roster. It's like, really? And it's like, I refuse to believe that. I really do.
Well, yeah, he's a fucking cash crop waiting to happen if you book him properly.
It's like, you're paying this guy how much, and why in the hell would you keep him down in NXT forever? That's just, I'm sorry, that's just not good. That's not good money making.
No, I mean, there's nobody in wrestling that has more charisma than this guy.
That's like, okay, we're going to bring Hogan back and we're going to make him NXT champ. No, that's just stupid. That's the same kind of mentality.
Don't bring that up around Vinnie Mac. He'll fucking book it. That's some shit he would book.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is the true test to see if they're actually listening to my show or not. So.
He's probably sitting in a hotel bed with Linda McMahon right now listening to the podcast. I know it.
Right? They're sitting in bed drinking cocoa thinking, oh my God, I'm so happy that Donald Trump is president. And hey, what do you think about bringing Hogan back and making him NXT championship? Let's bring that up at the next board meeting with Triple H. What do you think, Linda?
Oh, Vinny.
Damn it.
Oh, Vinny, I think you're right. I think it will work out. Wait, we're not role-playing? Damn.
No, damn it, especially if you're naked on the other end of this call.
Hey, now.
That's just, no. That's another reason why we're not using video tonight, folks. Just, no.
Hey, it's a Saturday night.
Yeah, you got to feed me a few more beers for that, you nasty-ass bastard. So, yeah, we've got a new NXT champ. I was shocked, and obviously by the zoomed in on faces at in Canada, whatever arena this was in Toronto, Canada. I'm sorry, folks. at the fill in the blank arena,
the Airway Center. I have no fucking clue. That's like Chicago. I have no clue. Actually, that was a wild guess.
It was. I bet. A wife dropping in here. Gosh, yeah. Where the heck was the show tonight? It'll take me 2 seconds to find this. You know what? I'm not seeing it. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter.
We're just going to go with Airway Center because it sounds good.
Oh, sure. Airway Canada Arena.
Yep.
Whatever.
Book it.
Yep. New champ. This, and you know what? And this is like the first time that Nakamura honestly didn't look like he was giving his all in a match. Like he looked like he didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, Samoa Joe tore him apart. And I kind of wondered this too, especially after finding out who won the match, is maybe he's of some sort. But he took a hell of a beating, so that kind of took out the question there. But I mean, why? What's the intention on putting the belt on Samoa Joe? So we can see these two go at it for quite some time. I mean, I would enjoy it
forever.
Yeah, they might be just taking what the fucking fans say all the time and fight forever. Hell, might as well. I can watch these guys go at it.
Yeah, because like I said, I assumed that Joe was going to lose here and then like surprise main roster at the Royal Rumble. That's what I was assuming. Maybe the exact opposite is going to happen now. And Nakamura, after this loss, because he's been undefeated up until this point, hasn't he been?
Yeah, but this is his first title defense.
No.
Yeah.
No. Was it?
Yep.
Did he win it at the last show from Joe?
Pretty sure he did. Yeah. No, maybe he didn't. What the hell?
Because Joe won it from Finn, right?
Yeah, and then he faced off against Nakamura, and Nakamura won. Yeah, he won it the last takeover. Let me get confirmation on that NXT Championship.
Sorry, folks, we're a little fuzzy.
Yeah, sorry, folks, we don't have all the correct information off the top of the head. Things like to get inside my head and just float away at times from self-medicating, obviously.
I don't understand why. That's just
yeah, I know. I'm having issues. Let's look at all of the NXT Championship reigns, just for the hell of it.
Oh my God, Bo Dallas! Remember him?
yeah, no shit. I totally forgot about that guy. Okay, Yeah, yep. August 20th, 2016 is when Nakamura won the NXT Championship against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe held the title from April 21st till obviously August 20th. Yeah.
So it was
Nakamura went 91 days without putting the title on the line. Holy shit.
Well, they kind of wrote him off TV for a bit too during this feud with Joe.
Mm-hmm. I don't. There's something going on with him. I don't know if it's injury or they're putting, like I said, a lot of stock into this guy. Like, oh my God, don't get this guy injured.
Well, and I mean, I also like the fact that they kept, that Joe kept doing the run-ins and building his whole heel foundation. He kept on taking out everyone from the frickin' NXT roster, including that one kid who was supposed to make his debut, that monster 7-footer, and he just completely destroyed him in 2 seconds. Didn't even get a match out of him.
Yeah,
whoever that. It looked like Cody Hall, but it wasn't Cody Hall. Tall ass boy. But yeah, I don't know. It is weird. It was surprising that Nakamura lost and that Joe won it back. So Joe's a 2-time NXT champion. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens now, because you would assume, depending on what happened with this match, one of them would get slingshot to the main roster come Royal Rumble time. I think that's what a lot of people are assuming, including myself. What do you think?
I'm like I said, I'm convinced that Samoa Joe is their big ticket. I mean, he's obviously not the bigger ticket here, but this is a guy that they know they can trust to help build up younger talent, because he's getting there with his age, that he could be a very good asset towards that with helping out younger talent. So I could see Nakamura coming to the main roster. I don't know how they're going to do it, and I hope they don't fuck it up, because he's probably like number 3 or 4 in merchandise sales in WWE probably overall.
Yeah,
because everybody has his T-shirt. I mean, we went to that Monday Night Raw few months back, and there was more Nakamura T-shirts than I saw John Cena.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
like that they were selling at the booths, or people were wearing it.
People were wearing them. I bought one. I have one. And I don't buy too many WWE things because they're so fucking expensive.
Yeah. Oh, one thing, I've just quick side note for those listening and want to buy relatively cheap WWE T-shirts. I've been buying a few lately from Myers. If you have a Myers near you, They're very similar to Target or Walmart, superstores with the clothing on one end and pharmacy and then, grocery, whatever, miscellaneous on the other. Myers has been running a deal on their T-shirts lately, and they usually have one or two T-shirts from the WWE available. Like, I just bought a Seth Rollins shirt there for $8 there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, considering you'd have to pay, $20-$30 on WWE.com.
Mm-hmm.
They also had a classic rock, it doesn't matter what you think shirt.
Did this still have the WF logo on it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're legit WWF shirts. I think that sometimes they just send slightly older, not brand new merchandise to Myers stores, which I don't care. It's a Seth Rollins shirt, for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the rebuild, redesign, reclaim, rewear, whatever logo on it. And he's going to be doing that for a while, so what the hell, why not,
Oh, yeah. That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah. So anything $10 or less for a WWE shirt, what the hell, why not?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, solid show, dude. All the matches were great. I wouldn't say any of the matches were bad. I think there were some better than others.
Yeah. I don't think NXT has put out a bad pay-per-view yet. I think when they have their NXT takeovers, they're better than the WWE pay-per-views that are following them the next night.
Well, they're a lot more focused. The cards are smaller, so it's not like you're scrambling to get 9 matches in between 2 to 3 hours.
But they do something that a WWE pay-per-view or show doesn't do. And they tell a story.
Well, and they have the time in the ring to do that. I mean, they went between 2.5 and 3 hours tonight, and we had 5 matches.
Right. And WWE could do that if they would cut out the Nia Jackson, Braun Strowman, and they would be fine.
And the freaking KFC commercials every 2 minutes.
Yeah, they would be fine. Speaking of commercials, what is this new WWE 207 that's coming out?
20 minus
5?
205.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I'm glad my math wasn't as bad. No, 205 is a network exclusive show dedicated to the cruiserweights. Coming out it's starting in between a week to 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. So is it going to be a wrestling show, or is it going to be like behind the scenes show?
Basically, it's going to be like Leave It to Beaver with no, I'm kidding. No, it's all cruiserweights. It's 205 because it's all wrestlers 205 pounds or less.
Okay.
It's supposed to be on the network after SmackDown, which means Talking Smack, which is usually live after SmackDown, is getting shoved an hour away from SmackDown.
Oh, really? That's stupid.
Which
Talking
makes
Smack's
me
pretty good.
Which makes I don't think they're getting rid of it. It's just getting. I think they're putting it an hour later and giving it a chance to, because it is such a Raw show, not Monday Night Raw show. I mean, because it's live and they just kind of wing it. It gives if it's not live, they have an hour to polish it up a little bit before they air it. That's my guess, is they want to polish it up a little bit, which they shouldn't, because that's why it's so popular right now.
Exactly.
Because they're out there, they're live, they're cutting promos on each other. The Miz is out there making Daniel Bryan shit his pants every week. It's freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do with this, which makes me think that the cruiserweights are going to end up going to SmackDown after, like Kalisto's going to become champ tomorrow night if I'm making any Survivor Series predictions on this show. So that's
they should be. They should be on SmackDown. I've said that from the get-go. They should be on SmackDown.
But then it'll be interesting to see if the Intercontinental Championship gets traded then to Raw. Because I can't see SmackDown getting 3 champions. That's too much for 2 hours, in my opinion.
Well, they would still have the same amount of championships. They're just basically doing a switch off. They have cruiserweight, tag team, women's,
except they're gaining like a dozen cruiserweights.
Right, and maybe that's kind of why I was asking about what's going on with that show, because is that where the cruiserweights are going to be wrestling? They're no longer going to be on TV.
That's the thing. They're not being given enough time on TV, and this will be a better way to feature a majority of them every week. At least they'll get an hour dedicated to them
on the network, though.
Yeah, and I honestly think this has been that thing that they've been rumored about doing, like within the last 5 to 10 years. They've had rumors about a cruiserweight specific show coming out from WWE. I think this is the culmination of that. They finally have the chance to do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
At least we'll get to see them.
Yeah, no shit.
We won't get these stupid, 3-on-3s crammed into 2 minutes every week.
No shit. That's so annoying.
In a 3-hour show on Raw, and you can't have time to feature them properly. I don't understand. Come on. Jeez Louise.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
It's ridiculous. So, but nonetheless, hell of a show tonight before we stray too far off topic. I never did that before.
Right. None of us.
Right. I think we're both channeling our inner Laz. What do you think? Shout out to Laz. Love ya. NXT Takeover Toronto is in the books. Hell of a card. Some surprising championships changing hands tonight. Depending on what your opinion is of the show, might have been a surprise. Maybe it wasn't. For me personally, it was. But very, very happy with this show overall, dude.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I think these NXT shows nail it every single time. It's, they do get more time, but still, I think they're very, very good for what they're building up. Because, the NXT shows are sometimes kind of boring, especially when you already know the results. But, dude, hands down, fucking amazing show.
Yeah, not disappointed with it at all. So that's gonna wrap up this this Saturday night review of the NXT
Saturday Night Delight.
Yes, cue the '70s hippie raunchy music. Never mind.
Hell yeah, I'll toke one up to that.
I am so not up for that. It's been a hell of a week. And, thank you very much, Baron, for joining me in this.
Thanks for the invite.
Finally up for doing this because I've been, down with the sickness, as they say, all week.
Blah.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of more ways than one. But yeah, and to get back in the swing of things, somewhere within the next couple days, I will be hopefully doing a review of this past week's Lucha Underground episode, along with probably giving some thoughts on the Survivor Series. Have absolutely really no opinion going into it. I just think it's nice to see that the WWE does traditional things once in a while, which they are, as awkward as the matches may be tomorrow night. We'll see.
Yep. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some surprises. Maybe the dead man will claim some souls. Who knows?
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because I think they're going to start previewing some WrestleMania stuff for next year sooner than we think.
Oh yeah, it's getting to be that time.
Yeah. Well, usually they start doing that around Royal Rumble, but
Undertaker always has a good year build up. Seems like with his matches.
sometimes,
Yeah.
it depends on his health. And well, considering what he just came back this past week on SmackDown Live and said, who knows what the hell he's going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Claiming souls and digging holes, whatever the hell he said. Nonetheless, it was terrifying, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do.
Absolutely.
So, thanks for joining us this Saturday night, and we'll see you again real soon. Definitely sooner than later now that I'm feeling back to close to 100%. Good night, folks.
Peace.